All right, my food mood friends, welcome back. Chandra and Odyssey Food and Mood Body Mind Coaching. I've been thinking about this new concept of a food and mood revolution. It is really feels like my calling, where I really want to help people own their health. And so much of it is what we eat and our relationship to our emotions and our stress and our lifestyle. So yeah, I'm ready to start a revolution. You want to join? I'm looking into creating a membership, and I want to make this accessible and normal and not the processed foods. Anyway, I can go on and on about that whole piece. But today I want to talk about testimonial shame.
Welcome. Here is your hostess and coach, Chandra, helping people make food and mood changes doable without missing out. Go ahead, high five that like button, subscribe and share while you're there.
So what I've noticed is that I have many very, very happy clients who come to me sometimes for one reason, maybe it's weight loss or maybe it's brain productivity. And then, a couple sessions in, or at some point, there's all of these other symptoms that they're also dealing with gout, or they're also dealing with heartburn, or they're also dealing with fatigue, or there's often kind of sub reasons. They're yeah, this is my main goal, but I also wouldn't mind if, these things clear up. Sometimes people don't even think about wanting them to clear up. They've just normalized them so much that they're yeah, this is just a part of my life. So in the beginning, I kind of really get to know the multiple different pieces that are potentials for making massive changes. And then by the end of the program, I've seen these just radical results where people have lost 50 pounds and their gout is gone and they're off gout medication, or their heartburn is gone or at minimal percent with knowing exactly what causes it, or what else? Those are the couple stories that are just really, really loud. But there's more stories. And relationships to sleep, and being able to have this whole different relationship with their stress around sleep and their trauma and there's many facets to health, and there's many things that shifting our food and mood can affect. And depression, anxiety is a big one that I work with people of and often it's not even the first symptom that they want to work on. They have this other goal, and then there's these other things that come up. And so by the end of the program, they're oh my gosh, this has changed my life. I don't have gout. I've lost 50 pounds. My anxiety is either zero, or I exactly know how to manage it. I have my tools. People tell me, I can't believe all the actual tools that you give me.
Hello, my friend. How are you? I'm in the Dead Sea, floating in the water. Go ahead and like and share and follow so we can keep in touch.
There's just so much huge results happening. And then when I ask for testimonials, I find that there's a really common theme in where they don't really want to talk about their health struggles. They don't want to name the gout or the weight loss, or they don't want to name the anxiety. They don't want to talk about what they were struggling with. And so I've obviously honored what it is that they're wanting to say or not say, but I just keep in my brain, I'm this is interesting. I would guess that this is coming from a place of feeling embarrassed or ashamed of lacking health or having these symptoms. And I think it's a really normal thing. I think for me personally, I've really decided that me sharing my health struggles and all of the health obstacles and the diagnoses and the symptoms that I've overcome, for me, I view it as a way to inspire others, because I want people to know that it's possible. Because so many of us get used to thinking, oh, I'm going to have these symptoms and this is just how life is, and I just have to figure out how to deal with it, or I can have some band-aids to relieve the pain or suffering from time to time that have then their own symptoms. And so yeah, I've been there. So for me, I'm really inspired to share my story. I was a kid with eczema, asthma, depression, anxiety in my teens. I was overweight, 50 pounds. I really lacked my health. And so I know what I thought was a curse, I now realize that not having my health in my child is a gift, because I've really understood how important it is to prioritize my health, because 80% of our health is environmental, which means that we have this massive window and door and opening into changing our health by changing our environment, which is the food we're eating, not eating, what we're putting in our mouth, the stress levels that we're having, which has to do with, there's totally ways to change our stress based on our mind and our emotion management. And so there's really simple things that we can do to drastically improve our health. And like owning that there is something wrong with our health is challenging, because it's like saying, like admitting there's something wrong with me, or I'm weak, or I'm not doing something right, or I'm not taking care of my health good enough, I'm not good enough. And so I've really come to like understand that like nobody has to own it in front of other people, but there is a journey where we have to own it for ourselves. We have to acknowledge and say, okay, I'm struggling with these things. These things are not working for me. I have these symptoms and I want to change them. And so I even though if you look at my testimonials, and I have a lot of really beautiful testimonials, I just want you to know that like a lot of the actual like before health symptoms, and then even the after health symptoms, the actual health symptoms are often not mentioned. And so I wanted to just kind of do this general video where I share that like, if you're looking at my testimonials and you're seeing that like, you know, people say they have great changes and, you know, certain parts they're willing to share, but that there's actually health symptoms that are clearing up. You know, for me, it was my eczema, like being able to clear up my eczema. Like eczema is so connected to gut health and stress. Microbiome, it's anxiety, depression. These are all things that are totally doable. Heartburn, gout, all of these symptoms are IBS. There's so many symptoms that can be really changed. Even like diabetes and blood insulin levels and weight. You know, weight is, I like to think about weight as a symptom of an imbalanced relationship with food. And a lot of it is a miseducation piece. A lot of it is this crazy sugar society we live in. And so there are ways that we can make like sustainable, actionable changes that you want because you want to feel good. And that can really affect the symptoms that you're potentially struggling with. And also for kids, like this has a massive effect on our kids and their ability to learn and self-regulate. If you're a business owner or a CEO person, the way that I work with those clients is like they're looking for brain clarity. They're looking for creativity and productivity. One of my clients, his whole thing was productivity, and he was like, I can't believe how much more focused I feel not having sugar. And he had sugar like a couple months after he had been not having sugar, and he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how foggy sugar makes my brain. And he's like, I'm hooked on not eating sugar because I want my brain to feel this way. So anywhere from like getting out of pains, optimizing brains, having a more clear brain, but also applied to kids. You know, if you have kids with skin stuff and you have kids with, they're having, you know, I really believe that ADD and ADHD is like very connected to gut health, like how what's in our gut is like directly affecting to our brain. And so for kids, if they're dysregulated or they're having problems focusing, there's so much with food that can be done. So testimonial shame and owning our health, and know that it's possible to make massive changes in your health, and that the symptoms that you have, they don't have to be normal. You can clear them up. I know that like 70% of Americans are on medications, and I am not one of them. I was as a kid. I was on medications for 15 years, regular medications, and you can change your health by feeding your body nourishing, clean foods. I can go, in my program, I go into all the details around that, and internally managing stress and having a really intentional relationship with our life so that we're living big and not checking out and using all the buffering tools that harm our health. This is what I do. This is how I help people. I'd love to help you. Reach out to me and have a beautiful day. I will see you next week. And yeah, check that shame. I think it's powerful. You don't have to, but it's powerful to own where we're really at. One of the first steps in making a change is like owning, like, yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I want to change. This is possible to change. Okay, see you next time. Bye.